wanted to start off this morning before we get into some of the New Jersey issues that we need to talk about to tell you why I'm here and why I've been doing this for the last year. I think these interactions, I think these town halls are a symbol of the power of our democracy. And I think that the biggest risk you run as an elected official, especially as a governor, is to become isolated, is to be sitting in that Statehouse every day in Trenton, is to be hearing from the same people all the time with what can be at times be some very narrow issues that are of particular concern just to them, and that you don't really get a feel for what's happening in your state and what people really think. And so, you know, between September and Christmas, we did 17 town halls all over the state. Over the summer, we did town halls. In the spring, we did them. And I'm going to continue to do them for all 4 years that I'm governor, because I need to be out here and giving you a chance to ask me questions directly and have you hear directly from me. Now, as you've all seen, sometimes we're not always going to agree. And that's the way it works. We're from New Jersey, so we're not supposed to agree all the time. And when we don't agree, we're supposed to say we don't agree. But I think the events of the last week or so have put a spotlight on the fact of something that I've been trying to explain in these town halls in terms of my interaction with folks. You'll see, if there are people here today who have, you know, opinions that are opposite of mine, you know, I'm happy to listen to those and to respond to them. The only time you ever see me really getting into it with somebody is when somebody treats me disrespectfully. Now, you know, if someone's up and yell and scream at me, I'm going to yell and scream back. You want to come up and say your piece, and even if you disagree in a way that's nice and respectful, I'm going to disagree in a nice and respectful way back. That's the way I think most of us were raised, is that we treat each other the way we're being treated. And so with all that's going on in our country right now and this focus on the tragedy that's happened in Arizona, you know, there are some who would say, don't come out and do this anymore, that it's too dangerous. We cannot play to the lowest common denominator, and we can't lead out of fear. And what we have to do is to always be looking at the ways that we can act more civilly to each other in a civilized society. It does not mean we're going to sugarcoat it, and it doesn't mean we're going to put so much varnish on it that you can't recognize it. We have to tell each other the truth. We have a moral obligation to tell each other the truth. But we also have to understand and respect the idea that in a civilized society like America, that we need to treat each other civilly also. Disagree strongly, vehemently, fight for the things we believe in, you bet. I'm never going to change that way. But we have to treat each other well. And when we don't, expect to be treated poorly in return, because that's what you've earned. So we're going to continue to interact this way, and I'm going to continue to do these town halls for as long as I'm privileged to be governor, because hearing from all of you about the issues that you're concerned about, and you hearing from me about how I feel about those issues and about other issues that you may not have thought about yet, is the only way that we're going to return this state to the greatness that it once had and that it still richly deserves.